You know, it seems like ever since Structure Deck Mechana Mayhem came out, you've been able to put 3 of them together and build a halfway competent deck out of there. Something Konami was probably planning on doing in the first place, but it was actually doing pretty good for a few Structure Decks. Actually, most of them in line, with only one real hiccup in between that you needed other cards for. But then we enter to Structure Deck Dragons Collide, and they just completely hit a brick wall. I don't know. This thing's a Chaos deck that's trying to be a Dragon deck, and it's not really succeeding in either front for me. Now, granted, it may be me being sleep-deprived and me working 10 hours straight at a job that I don't like. AKA, I've been transferred somewhere else temporarily for a week, and I'm banging my head against the wall. But it just seems like meaningless reprints alongside some mediocre good cards. We'll start out with the new cards. Chaos Zone, this thing I do not like at all. In all honesty, it's only going to work really if you're in a Makro deck. Yay, Removal Master. But having to remove at least 4 cards from play just to get a level 4 monster back, that doesn't really add up. Let alone if you want to get something higher like most of the other cards are that are actually good in this deck. You need at least, 5, 6... 12. Okay, not really 12, but that's 10. It's still not helping. Only decent cards that are new out of this deck, I guess, would be Wyvern and Dark Flare. I've seen some use for. Light Pulsar kind of has some slight use, but I'm not exactly very fond of it. And then we got Dragon's Rebirth, which I think is slightly more handy than any of the other ones. In all honesty, this is probably my favorite card out of the new cards, because you can get it out of your hand or graveyard. So you got those big high-level monsters sitting in your hand that can't do anything, aka Blue Eyes. You can ban another Dragon-type monster off of your side of the field and special summon out of your hand. And go, ooh, there I am, whoop-de-doo. That's another thing. I'm not sure Red Eyes alongside Blue Eyes was a very good reprint option in here. Now, granted, I do love the White Stud of Legend, get into Blue Eyes type of deals, especially since it'll probably the lone tuner out of the deck. Granted, these things are not known for synchro summoning in the first place, but still, you can do it as long as you have an extra deck to go along with it, and it's assuming you're not the first thing that you bought is this deck by itself. Red Eyes Black Chick, of course, the usual situational thing. And of course, along with Red Eyes Black Chick trying to get out Red Eyes Black Dragon, we got Kaiba Man trying to get Blue Eyes out the same way. You don't belong here, Kaiba Man. You're a warrior in what's supposed to be a dragon deck. Its name says it all. Dragons collide, not Goofy Warrior in a Kaiba suit and a Blue Eyes mask runs around. We'll get to you later. Anyways, the other dragons that are actually in the thing really don't fit either. Axe Dragoon, okay, it's a dark, it's 2000, but it switches itself off to the 1200 defense mode. Vice Dragon gets special summon out to the field, but it loses half its attack and defense. Garath, Light Sworn Dragon, granted it's a level 6, it's actually a dragon, but we already have a level 6 dragon-type monster, Prime Material, way down here. That's a hell of a lot more handier than him. Doesn't need to rely off of all these Light Sworns. Dark Arms, a little surprisingly, actually works the best out of the deck, which is weird. Really weird. Considering I think this thing's more light-heavy than dark, in all honesty. I think it's 23 monsters, if I remember right. I think we're 1 monster over on the light, but then again, I wasn't really keeping track because I got lost in the Darkness Metal reprint. Yes, I do like it. I don't care that it's common. It looks just as fine as the supers that I used in the first place. Anyone who uses ultimates is obviously a rarity snob. Chaos Sorcerer gets a reprint, and I don't think it's seen since Structure Deck 6, so I guess it's slightly welcome. And Lord of D's in here just for the pure and simple fact that, ooh, dragons, we can special summon him. Now, you may have noticed there's a Mystic Tomato in here. Now, the original list called for him, but since him is not a dragon, that thing's not exactly a dragon either. At least this thing has dragon in the title. And once again, they wanted to make it apparently darker heavy for some odd reason. They cut out this and put in that. Now we keep scrolling through. We got Summoner Monk 2, which I'm not going to complain about. Snipe Hunter, which at least gets the useless high-level ones that are stuck in your hand, especially Darkness Metal, since for some odd reason he likes company along with everyone else that is in the freaking dragon. So at least you can toss him into the graveyard. Herald of Creation. Now, the original list, if I remember right, and I didn't exactly cover in my Look to Your Yu-Gi-Oh! Future thing over this, was Celestial Lightsworn Angel. And all honesty, I'm glad she got the boot. She didn't make any sense in here in the first place. I think her effect only goes off when you tribute a Lightsworn monster, and there's only, what, 3 of them that are low level to be tributed off in the first place? Doesn't really make any sense. Then we got Jane, Layla, and Raikou. The 3 random other Lightsworn monsters besides the dragon that really don't fit in this thing other than the principal fact that they mill. One gets rid of a spell or trap card, one gains attack, and one destroys a card. In all honesty, my favorite one out of the bunch, Raikou. And topping the list on how the hell did that get reprinted? Right alongside Dark Armed Dragon. Anyway, then we come down to the joke of the deck, the spell selection. Good God, what is this? I'm serious. Burst Stream of Destruction and Infernal Fire Blast? They do realize this thing is not a Blue Eyes nor a Red Eyes deck, right? Then we got Flute of Summoning Dragon. Ooh, lordy. No. Granted, Wingbeat of a Giant Dragon is actually a little more surprisingly useful than you think. It's a heavy storm for bouncing, let's see, if it's level 5 or higher dragon type monster, and guess who can special summon themselves right out of the hand? So, summon it. Bounce, get it back. Okay, that was a little backwards. Book of Moon gets another reprint. Magical Stone of Excavation gets a reprint for some odd reason. I've yet to figure that out, in all honesty. Reasoning and Monster Gate for random milling for some odd reason. And we have this Card Trader thing, which really throws me off because this actually made a hell of a lot more sense. That's actually its replacement, Light of Redemption. It gets one of your banished light type monsters back in your hand for 800 life points. That means you can ban Raikou and get a Dark Flare Dragon and pay 800 and get that Raikou back. Broken Recycling for the win. DDR at least has some sort of use, and Charge of the Light Brigade also has some slight use if it's only just to fetch the Raikou or your Layla, because there's no way in hell you're going to search Jane. She just loves coming to your hand in the first place. And then we come down to the traps. We got Burst Breath, which once again, we got pretty disposable dragons over there, so you might as well dispose of them as easily as you can. Then you got Call of the Haunted to bring them back out of the graveyard. And then we have the one what the fuck trap card. Interdimensional Matter Transporter. So we're going to make my monster disappear for the turn and reappear, leaving me defenseless. But at least he's safe. And then we got Escape from the Dark Dimension. Fun. Well, at least that makes more sense than anything else. Well, I think that was the review. Later, YouTube.